The stock market is booming. The S&P 500 and Dow Jones keep hitting record high, and investors are celebrating one of the strongest rallies in years. But here's the strange part. While the market climbs higher and higher, two of the most famous companies in the world, Apple and Tesla, are slipping. How is it possible that the stock market is breaking records while its most iconic names are falling behind? Today, we'll break down exactly what's happening, why it matters, and what it means for the future of both these giants and your investments. Let's start with Apple. For decades, Apple has been the definition of a market leader. Trillions in market cap, record-setting profits, and a product ecosystem that dominates the globe. But recently, things haven't been so shiny. The first issue? Weak iPhone sales, especially in China, which has been Apple's second largest market. China's consumer slowdown and the rise of local competitors like Huawei and Xiaomi are taking market share away from Apple. In fact, Huawei has been making a major comeback with its new smartphones, which are cheaper and increasingly competitive in performance. Now, why does this matter? Because Apple's business is still heavily dependent on the iPhone. Despite all the new services like Apple Music, iCloud, and Apple TV, the iPhone is still the backbone of Apple's revenue. And if iPhone sales stumble, Apple stock feels the pain immediately. Another challenge is regulation. In Europe, new rules are forcing Apple to make big changes to its App Store policies, cutting into one of its most profitable businesses. And in the US, Apple faces antitrust investigation that could reshape how it handles app payments and software. And here's the kicker. Investors are asking, where's the next big innovation? The iPhone has dominated for more than a decade, but Apple hasn't had a truly groundbreaking product in years. The Vision Pro headset was hyped as the next big thing, but so far, adoption has been slow. So when you put it all together, slowing iPhone demand, rising competition, regulatory pressure, and investor doubts about innovation, it's no surprise Apple's stock has been struggling even as the broader market climbs. Now let's turn to Tesla, the company that turned electric cars into a global phenomenon. Tesla was once seen as untouchable, but now the cracks are starting to show. The biggest challenge for Tesla is competition. In the US and Europe, traditional automakers like Ford, GM, Volkswagen, and BMW have poured billions into EVs. In China, companies like BYD are not only competing, but actually outselling Tesla in many categories. BYD has become a global EV powerhouse, offering cars at a much lower price point. And here's Tesla's problem. To keep up, it's had to cut prices aggressively. That means lower profit margins. Investors love growth, but when growth comes at the expense of profitability, Wall Street starts to worry. On top of that, Tesla is facing slowing demand. High interest rates make financing a car more expensive, and many consumers are sticking with cheaper gas-powered vehicles or waiting for EV prices to drop further. And of course, we can't ignore the impact of Elon Musk. He's a visionary, but his focus is split between Tesla, SpaceX, X, formerly Twitter, and other projects. Every time Musk makes a controversial statement or shifts attention away from Tesla, it adds uncertainty to the stock. So, what does this all add up to? Tesla is still an EV leader, but its dominance is being challenged like never before, and that has put pressure on its stock, even as the overall market surges. Now here's the question you might be asking. If Apple and Tesla are struggling, how is the stock market still hitting new records? The answer is simple. The stock market isn't just about two companies. In fact, what we're seeing right now is something called a rotation. Investors are moving money out of big tech names and into other parts of the market, like industrials, energy, utilities, and especially small cap stocks. For example, the Russell 2000 index, which tracks smaller US companies, has recently outperformed some of the big tech names. Why? Because investors are betting that if interest rates fall and the economy stays strong, smaller companies will benefit the most. At the same time, investors are also spreading their bets across sectors that have been ignored for years. Companies in construction, manufacturing, and even old school energy are seeing new money flow in. So even though Apple and Tesla are lagging, the rest of the market is strong enough to push the indexes to new highs. This is why you'll often hear traders say, the market is bigger than any one company. So what does this all mean for you? Whether you're a professional investor or just someone trying to understand the headlines. For professionals, this is a reminder not to get too concentrated in a few mega cap names. Apple and Tesla are giants, but they're not invincible. Diversification matters. For non-professionals, the key takeaway is that the market can rise even when the companies you know best are falling. If you only watch Apple and Tesla, you might think the whole market is in trouble, but the reality is very different. And for everyone, this is a chance to learn that the stock market isn't just about logos and headlines. It's about sectors, rotations, and trends that shape where money flows. And understanding those trends can help you make smarter decisions, whether you're investing, saving, or just following the news. So here's the bottom line. Apple and Tesla are struggling, but the market is thriving. That might seem like a contradiction, but it's actually a sign of strength. It shows the US economy is bigger than any one company, even the giants. The big question now is, can Apple and Tesla bounce back? Or are we witnessing the beginning of a new era where different players take the spotlight? What do you think? Is this just a temporary slump for Apple and Tesla, or are these companies losing their edge? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more daily financial insights, and share it with someone who follows Apple or Tesla. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.